Welcome back, real estate enthusiasts, to another informative quiz session with the Dolphin School of Real Estate. Today we have exciting quiz from Section 8, Property Rights, Estates and Tenancies. Let's test your understanding of literal rights and the areas to which they apply. So the first question is: literal rights apply to which of the following? Option A, boatable ponds entirely contained within the boundaries of an owner's property. B, streams and rivers. C, navigable lakes, seas, and oceans. D, navigable streams and rivers. Now I am going to give you some time. Consider each option and identify where literal rights apply. All right. I hope you had enough time to think about the options. So the correct answer for this question is going to be Option C, navigable lakes, seas, and oceans. Literal rights concern properties abutting bodies of water that are not moving, such as lakes and seas. Owners of properties abutting a navigable, non-moving body of water enjoy the literal right of use, but do not own the water nor the land beneath the water. The legal premise underlying the definition of literal rights is that a lake or sea is a navigable body of water, therefore, public property owned by the state. By contrast, a body of water entirely contained within the boundaries of an owner's property is not navigable. In such a case, the owner would own the water as well as unrestricted rights of usage. Okay, question number 2. An estate at will. A, cannot be terminated. B, is terminated only if so stated in the lessee's last will and testament. C, terminates on the death of lessor or lessee. D, terminates on the date specified in the lease agreement. Okay, now take a moment to carefully consider your answer. Now, let's find out the correct answer for this one. So the correct answer is going to be C, terminates on the death of lessor or lessee. The estate at will, also called a tenancy at will, has no definite expiration date and hence no renewal cycle. The landlord and tenant agree that the tenancy will have no specified termination date, provided rent is paid on time and other lease conditions are met. For example, a son leases a house to his father and mother forever, or until they want to move. The estate at will is terminated by proper notice, or by the death of either party. Question number 3. Which of the following is true of a joint tenancy? A, the tenants can determine the size of the share owned by each tenant. B, the size of the tenants' shares is determined by the amount of equity each has invested in the property. C, the tenants have an equal and indivisible ownership interest. D, there can be no more than 2 co-owners, and each has a 50% interest. All right, take your time to think about the options. Okay, now, let's reveal the correct answer together. The correct answer is Option C, the tenants have an equal and indivisible ownership interest. In a joint tenancy, 2 or more persons collectively own a property as if they were a single person. Rights and interests are indivisible and equal, each has a shared interest in the whole property which cannot be divided up. Joint tenants may only convey their interests to outside parties as tenant in common interests. One cannot convey a joint tenant interest. Okay, next one. Here's the question. Which of the following is true of a cooperative? A cooperative may hold an owner liable for the unpaid operating expenses of other tenants. B, the owners have a fee simple interest in the airspace of their respective apartments. C, owners may sublease their apartments even if they sell their stock in the cooperative. D, the proprietary lease is guaranteed to have a fixed rate of rent over the life of the lease term. Carefully analyze each option and choose the one that accurately represents a characteristic of a cooperative. All right, it's time to unveil the correct answer. The statement that is true of a cooperative is Option A, a cooperative may hold an owner liable for the unpaid operating expenses of other tenants. Since the corporation owns an undivided interest in the cooperative property, debts and financial obligations apply to the property as a whole, not to individual units as in a condominium. Question number 5. Here's the scenario. A waterfront homeowner has just died. What will become of the water rights the owner enjoyed while living in the home? Here are your options. A. They revert to the state when the property is sold. B. They are extinguished. C. They are a personal right belonging to an individual owner, not attaching to the real property. D. They transfer with the property when the property is sold. Take your time to carefully consider the question. Think about what happens to the water rights after the homeowner's passing. When you're ready, make your selection. I hope you have made your selection. Let's reveal the correct answer now. So the correct answer is D. They transfer with the property when the property is sold. Literal rights are attached to the property, so when the property is sold, the literal rights is transferred with the property to the new owner. Question number 6. The 4 unities required to create a joint tenancy include which of the following conditions? Here are your options. A. Parties must acquire respective interests at the same time. B. Parties must be residents of the same state at the time of acquiring the interest. C. Parties must be family members. D. Parties must have joint financial responsibility. Take your time to carefully consider the question. Think about the conditions necessary to create a joint tenancy. When you're ready, make your selection. Alright, it's time to reveal the correct answer together. So the correct answer is Option A. Parties must acquire respective interests at the same time. To create a joint tenancy, all owners must acquire the property at the same time, use the same deed, acquire equal interests, and share in equal rights of possession. These are referred to as the 4 unities. Question number 7. In a timeshare freehold, owners acquire. Here are your options. A. Undivided interests in the property as tenants in common. B. A renewable periodic tenancy for a portion of a year. C. A pro rata share of a leased fee. D. A tenancy in severalty for a portion of a year. Take your time to carefully consider the question. Think about what owners acquire in a timeshare freehold arrangement. When you're ready, make your selection. All right. I hope you have made your selection. So the correct answer is A. Undivided interests in the property as tenants in common. In a freehold timeshare, or interval ownership estate, tenants in common own undivided interests in the property. Expense prorations and rules governing interval usage are established by separate agreement when the estate is acquired. Question number 8. Here's a scenario for you. In a community property state, John marries Patricia. Prior to the marriage, John owned an SUV. During the marriage, John bought a Buick. John and Patricia bought a second property with money earned from Patricia's job, and each individual received a motorcycle from Patricia's uncle as a gift. What property is community property in this marriage? A. The SUV, the Buick, and the second property. B. The SUV, the Buick, the second property, and the motorcycles. C. The Buick and the second property. D. The Buick, the second property, and the motorcycles. Take your time to carefully consider the question. Think about which assets become community property in a community property state. When you're ready, make your selection. Alright, let's reveal the correct answer together. So the correct answer is C, the Buick and the second property. So the community property laws define property rights of legal spouses before, during, and after their marriage, as well as after the death of either spouse. And this law distinguishes real and personal property into categories of separate and community property. Separate property belongs to one spouse, whereas the community property belongs to both spouses equally. Separate property, in this context, is that property which is acquired prior to the marriage, by gift or inheritance during the marriage, property acquired by separate property funds, or income from separate property. All right. In this question, let's explore the distinction between personal property and real property. So the question is: an item may be considered personal property as opposed to real property provided that A. The owner intended to remove it after a period of time. B. It can be removed without altering the appearance of the structure. C. It is unnecessary to the physical integrity of the structure. D. The owner installed it at some time after acquiring the real property. Take your time to carefully consider the question. Think about the criteria that define personal property versus real property. When you're ready, make your selection. All right. The correct answer for this question is A. The owner originally intended to remove it after a period of time. One's original intention can override the test of movability in determining whether an item is a fixture or not. If someone attached an item to real property yet intended to remove it after a period of time, the article may be deemed personal property. If a person intended an article to be a fixture, even though the item is easily removable, the article may be deemed a fixture. For example, an apartment renter installs an alarm system, fully intending to remove the system upon lease expiration. Here, the alarm system would be considered personal property. Alright, this is the last question from Section 8, Property Rights, Estates, and Tenancies. Let's explore the physical boundaries of land in this exciting question. So the question is: which of the following best describes the physical boundaries of land? Here are your options. A. The surface of the earth and infinite space above the surface. B. The center of the earth and infinite space above the earth. C. The surface of the earth and all water and minerals on or below the surface to the center of the earth. D. The surface of the earth and the air rights above the surface to the point defined by local zoning. Take your time to carefully consider the question. Think about the definition of the physical boundaries of land. When you're ready, make your selection. Alright, let's reveal the correct answer together. So the correct answer is B. The center of the earth and infinite space above the earth. The legal concept of land encompasses the surface area of the earth, everything beneath the surface of the earth extending downward to its center, all natural things permanently attached to the earth, and the air above the surface of the earth extending outward to infinity. Land, therefore, includes minerals beneath the earth's surface, water on or below the earth's surface, and the air above the surface. Alright guys. That's pretty much all for today. For additional quizzes to enhance your exam preparation, visit our website, dolphinschoolofrealestate.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more valuable content. Thank you for joining us in this quiz, and keep up the amazing work on your journey to becoming a licensed real estate professional. See you next time.